Welcome to Geocache Adventures with me, Shadow Dragon 1, where I explore the world of geocaching. If you like the podcast, please consider leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or the Geocache Adventures Facebook page. Or share it with somebody that you think would enjoy it. Word of mouth is a great way to spread the podcast. You can also join Geocache Adventures on Buy Me a Coffee. Just follow Geo Adventures, that's one word, GEO Adventures on Buy Me a Coffee, and get behind the scenes on every episode or become a member to unlock other exclusive content. Do you love all the games within the game of geocaching? Do you love geocoins? Then you need to check out this new line of geocoins by Cache the Line. Join me this episode as we hear all about the Cache the Line Cipher Geocoins. Hi everybody, Amy, Shadow Dragon 1 here, and with me today is Geoff of Cache the Line. You may remember him from Season 3, Episode 1 on Challenge Caches, and he's here to talk to us about an exciting new project that he has going on with Cipher Geocoins. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So what is this Cipher Geocoin project?
So this is what I'm calling the Cache Line Cipher Geocoin. It's related to, obviously, my channel, Cache the Line, and it's been something I've been developing over the last few years, all kind of bringing this theme of the line and the cache line all together into one sort of big project of a whole bunch of things. And this is the first stage, and this is the geocoins. This is the tangible thing you can finally have in your hand to connect to the power of the cache line.
Okay, so what exactly is the cache line?
So the way that I kind of I've described it in other times as, we travel and we find caches, and we're traveling from place to place and high to high and low to low, all these events, caching the line of life.
Okay.
And if you've looked at the logo and the various themes, the variations of the logo over the years, they've all kind of incorporated this dashed line. If we're following our GPS from cache to cache, then usually it's like a dotted line, like on a map, going from place to place. And so that's been kind of part of the logo. And so that theme of the line, everybody's got their own line and we're all traveling it.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so the Cipher coins are, in a way, adding to the experience of traveling that line.
Right. So what's been happening over the last few years is I've been kind of developing this idea of traveling these lines, and then I've had short video series and podcast episodes over the last few years around Christmas called Geo Vlogmas and Geopodmas that have kind of played on this mysterious ability, like a parallel dimension, that there's extra powers and things that are all related to geocaching. And so kind of playing on this idea of everybody, we know that geocaching is like this extra layer on top of real life, and we call people who don't know about geocaching muggles because they don't know about this secret layer, this added adventure on top of life. And so kind of tapping into that whole idea with the cache line, it's a dimension where all of these experiences, all of these lines of people's lives are kind of floating around, twisting and contorting. And so that's kind of the theme of the cache line dimension. And I've been playing with that over the last few years.
It kind of sounds a bit like a augmented reality game in a way.
It could be. there's certainly potential for that, and that's come to mind a few times. I've kind of dabbled with a couple of services and applications in using augmented reality. So I think HQ has done that a couple of times with Travel Bugs. They've had it so that you can use the official app and then scan a graphic or something in front of you, in front of the camera, and then it would pop out something three-dimensional. You can move it around, resize it, and basically it puts something virtual into the real world on your phone screen. And so I've thought about making something like that within this this realm. But it takes more time and more effort, and yeah, so that might be a little further down the line.
Fair enough. So how do the coins relate to this realm?
So I have released teasers that kind of are all themed to the 4 different types of coins in the set. So there's Earth, Life, Sense, and Quest, and they're silver, copper, black, glow in the dark, and gold variants. And so they each kind of have this theme, and these themes are also sort of tied into the 4 colors we know that we see regularly related to geocaching. We've got the green, orange, blue, and I'm missing yellow. And so those 4 themes and those 4 colors are represented by these different types of coins. And so that those 4 now tie into one full set of coins. And the basic coin is your basic silver coin, and the others are now adding on additional abilities and additional bonus content that can be unlocked and discovered and claimed as time goes on. And yeah, each of the coins are different, so they provide something just a little different to the experience.
So can you tell us a little bit about like what type of bonus content these coins unlock and how they do that?
Well, really, it's kind of an open book. So, within the mythos of this cache line dimension, ultimately, it really could be anything. It could be anything from we could be unlocking things like digital badges to travel bugs and codes for discovering them, or it could tap into some additional physical assets and prizes and rewards. They could be just, geocaching stuff or just collectible stuff, or they could be also related to other upcoming things within this whole cache line theme. And so the branding for this campaign says it's Project EGA Phase 1. And so this is just the first step of, or the first entry into the larger plan that I have for this. And so that's what this campaign is trying to launch and get off the ground.
Okay. So these coins, there's a base, there's the coin itself, and then there's a core that's a path tag. Can you kind of tell us what the different parts of it sort of lend to these different aspects and quest and elements of each one?
Yeah. So on the coin, the front face, it's got the kind of a play on the whole dashed border, which was part of the original logo that I had, and but it's now kind of in the form of a sort of a portal, kind of taking some inspiration from Stargate a little bit. And so on the front face, you're looking through this portal into wherever you're looking. Who knows where it is, but the imagery is a relief image, and it's kind of a realistic depiction of the logo graphic that I've been using for the last while, where you've got the 4 terrains, you've got water and land and forest and urban and mountain and sky. And so you're just really kind of looking through this portal into this perhaps an alternate realm or dimension. And I need to interject that this coin was co-developed or designed by Chris Mackey. He's also a very, very prolific geocoin designer, and a lot of people know him, and he's got a huge repertoire of really beautiful coin designs. And so we also came up with the back of the coin, and on the back, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. We've got the 4 colors, those 4 colors again, each depicted by imagery that's related to those experiences or terrains. And but it's based on that compass rose. So you've got the 4 directions: north, south, east, west, and then the secondary ones that on the angles. And then there's a whole bunch of imagery. So we've got things like Roman numerals. We've got the hexadecimal series from 0 to F, and then we've got letters representing a number of different cache types, geocache types, and then there's the alphabet, of course, A to Z, and we've got attributes that geocachers know along the outside, and then a few more icons related to things like finding and DNFing and waypoints and caches. So there's a whole bunch of stuff on the back, and they can be tied together and connected however. But on that back, there's an indentation with a magnet, and the hole, people noticed the first time I shared the image of the back publicly that there were a few comments like, hey, that looks like the size of a path tag. So they're already picking up on the little things. And so, yeah, each of these coins has the ability to hold a path tag in that indentation. And it was designed specifically to hold really any path tag, but just that basic structure of the round path tag and the hole that connects it to, say, keychains. But this is making use of the path tag in a slightly different manner towards the cipher aspect, where if you look through the hole, depending on where it's rotated, you'll see something through the hole, and that can help towards solving the ciphers and the puzzles and messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So as you said, there's 4 different coins, and each one will eventually have different quests and activities related to them. Is that correct?
Yeah, so depending on where things go, the whole intent to this is that over time there will be additional puzzles and additional things discovered. There's ciphers, there's glyphs. So on the campaign page, it describes how there's like this diagram that's needed, and that's kind of part of the puzzle. And so if you find a glyph, then that will indicate which type of path tag, or what we're calling cores. So the core is the path tag. And so if you find a glyph, it will relate to an existing core. And if you have that core, then you can take the coin that you've got with the coin or the path tag, and then together you can interpret the glyph in order to solve a message. So the message is coded with the glyph, which uses the core and the coin in order to solve it. So it's a multi-part type of cipher thing, but a lot of expandability in the fact that there can be any number of path tags. You could use an existing path tag if you really want to make up a puzzle for this. There could be things that come out in the future. Who knows? But yeah, that's the whole idea of this, is that it's kind of an open-ended, who knows what the future might bring, what might be discovered in the cache line dimension.
And the page says that there's currently plans for 4 different cores, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's the one that's currently available is the rose core.
Yes. So every coin, so all the different 4 variants of the coins all come with that base rose core. And I just posted an update today that shows how a fairly typical standard rose glyph would be solved with a rose core. But there are 4 others already planned to be released with the coin. And there's the iron core, which is the core that's rewarded to people with a coin who complete the iron bingo challenge, which I've kind of been talking about. I think I mentioned it on the last time I was on with the challenge discussion.
Yeah.
And people who complete the full grid of the iron bingo challenge win themselves a coin and the iron core. There's the wolf core, which is a special that is earned by completing a contest I've got on a video playlist, a cache tour playlist on YouTube. So if you complete that one, then you can get your name into up to 50 available, and I think we're at now 39 or 40 claimed. So there's a few more left. And then there's also the patron core. So all of the supporters who support Cache the Line on Patreon are getting an exclusive patron path tag core. And then there's the biggie, there's the quad core. And if you pitch in and you pledge to contribute to the campaign to fund it, then there is an option to get all 4. And if you get the full set all together, then, well, there's a whole lot of power in those 4 coins. And so you need this extra bonus quad core to help restrain and control that power, because it's just so much. So that quad core will also come with additional abilities and rewards and whatnot. Each of those path tags has a different design, and they'll all have, say, different glyphs and different puzzles to go with them. And all that interaction with the different coins you've got can also reward different results, different things that you can claim. So lots of flexibility.
How will people get access to these puzzles or quests? Or
the easy way is social media.
Okay.
If there's puzzles that are free for people to solve and have fun with, then yeah, they'll be posted publicly. But ultimately, the intent I have for this project, and that's part of what this funding of this campaign is going towards, is to build a website to be able to have a profile and register these artifacts to your account. And then when you have that
Oh,
profile, then yeah, you'll be able to look up and say you've got these coins in your profile and you've got these cores. And then through that, there can be releases that extra bonuses. If the system knows that you are a quest coin holder, then you might get exclusive quest content. So there could be additional
okay.
discoveries that only you will find out, and you'll be informed through the website, that hub.
Very cool. Where did you get the idea for all this?
It kind of evolved from the theme that I initially started the channel with. So when I started out caching and vlogging, um, the backstory to Cache the Line is that my mother had come down with a very rapid onset of ALS, and that happened during a 1 year challenge to cache every day, to find a cache every day, 366-day streak. And so it was really hard for me to complete that streak, knowing that she was still in the hospital and pushing on as long as she could and not losing heart and not giving up. And so while her condition was going down in that 1 year, as a 1 year ALS, it was crazy. I was trying to push to complete this challenge. I didn't want to give up, and she was my inspiration for that. And so that theme kind of followed into the branding, into the Cache the Line theme. And the Fooner is kind of like the running man in the logo is kind of the that goal to keep going, push on towards the goal, keep your eyes up, all of that. And so that kind of launched the theme, and then it's just kind of evolved from there. I think it really started with that first year of GeoVlogmas when it started to bring in elements of teleporting with some extra powers, and then that kind of expanded into a little more. And as soon as I started to see there was some potential in this whole storytelling aspect of caching the line, then the doors just blew open, and now I'm like going full steam ahead.
That's very cool. How long does this campaign go on to for this first phase?
This campaign is going to be ending on August 12th, so there's 25 days left as of this recording. So it's about just over a month. It'll be a day or two after I get back, ideally from another trip early August, a road trip.
Okay. And then when do the activities related to these coins start releasing on social media?
Well, the puzzles can be released anytime, like that. Those are relatively easy, and then
Okay.
it could be a matter of giveaways as well. So
Okay.
really anybody, like all of the imagery is visible publicly, so people, even if you don't have the coins, theoretically you can still solve puzzles because you've got the pictures of the back of the coin, and who knows, the puzzles might not even require the coin. But ideally, what will happen is that the campaign will end, funds will be in. Indiegogo has the ability to continue to take quarters afterwards if people still want to get stuff, so it's not a hard end.
Okay.
But ideally, again, this campaign would launch the bigger project. So when the website comes around, then more coins could be minted, more tags, more cores. There's mounts, so coin mounts, displays that are going to be in the works as well. So it's launching into a bigger project, which is why this is phase one.
Where are you hoping to see all this go to?
Um, so the other
Or is it just
aspect that
kind of open up in the air still a little bit?
it's a little bit of both. The other aspect to the experience I had with my mother was that as she was in the hospital, I was able to bring the adventures that I was going on to her. She loved nature, she loved animals and photography. So while I was out doing some of this caching, I could bring back photos and help, kind of help lift her spirits by seeing some of these beautiful places and whatnot. And so there's an element of living vicariously. So that kind of helped inspire some of the vlogging that I was doing, being able to show what's out there and maybe inspire people who can't get out there, to have those adventures to live vicariously through. And so that was kind of the theme for the vlogging. And so taking that into this, my idea is, just to help really promote what geocaching is about. It's having experiences, it's discovering, it's adventures, and so there's a lot of potential for where this can go in the future. There is a plan for phase 2, which I've shared to some degree publicly. Patrons all know, but there is a game that I'm developing, and it's going really well. And my hope is that I'll be able to launch that later this year as well. And all of this is going to tie in together. So these coins will be able to provide additional content for the game and exclusive prizes and collectibles and all of that. So there's a whole lot more still coming.
Very cool. And I know websites take a lot of time to get up and running. When are you like your ideal timeline? When would you hope to have the website up?
I would hope the first phase of the website will be to be able to register the artifacts. And so that I would hope to have within probably a month or two after the campaign ends.
Okay.
So
the initial start pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's ideal. I would like to be able to have it so that, you can start to easily keep track of what you've got. And then that can also be a communication hub and news. And instead of, because that's the thing with social media, right? If you have people who follow you for one thing, but then you start spamming a whole bunch of other stuff and trying to get them, like you start to come across spammy. So I'm trying to filter people who like certain things into specific areas, and then you can get what you're looking to hear about. So if there's a hub for things that are specific to these coins and the project, then you'll be able to sign up, and then you will get that information directly to you.
Okay. In the meantime, until that hub is up, where can people look for additional information on these coins and activities?
The campaign is listed on Indiegogo, and right now I'm putting as much information as I can about it on Indiegogo. So the campaign page lists everything from just the intro to the backstory to the details, how things work, even down to, all the tiers. So the tiers that you can support and back with, as well as some teasers about the future, stretch goals as well. So we've got 1 month, and we're aiming to get to some of these stretch goals. There's always got to be stretch goals. And then the risks and challenges, of course. It's the first time I'm doing anything like this, so I've done a whole lot of research to try to do this the best that I can for anybody who backs, as well as not digging myself into a grave.
Right.
Because that happens with a lot of people who start campaigns like this. So, for huge projects and just little home style projects, if you don't plan well enough, then it can fail on multiple levels. So I'm hoping that the work I've done will not lead to that.
How long have you been planning this project?
The coin has been in the works for a few years. I've teased it many years ago before I started vlogging, but I seriously started developing it probably about a couple of years ago, and then started working with Chris Mackey much more recently. And that was an experience as well, because now you've got to deal with collaborating with design back and forth, coming up with something you like that also works with somebody who's more experienced in dealing with that. And then you got to take it to the mint, and then that goes back and forth because they might not necessarily do it the way you want it to, despite their blueprints that you've sent them. And so we've had a couple of mishaps and delays with that, but it's come to the point now finally that phase is out the door.
How did you get partnered up with Chris Mackey?
I just sent him a message and said, "Hey, I'm working on this, and
That's
I'd
simple,
love to have
huh?
your input and your help." Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And what about the path tags? Are you designing those? Are there other designers involved? How are those coming about?
The rose core was designed by him.
Okay.
So he did the coin and the base path tag, and that again was that whole collaboration to make sure that there was some way to use that rose path tag as a puzzle element.
Right.
So after that, the coin was just designed to have that flexibility to essentially use any path tag to create and solve puzzles.
And the other path tags that you mentioned, the wolf, the Iron Man, the Patreon, all those, who's been designing those?
At this point, they're me.
They're you. Okay.
I'm a graphic designer and a programmer, so I love graphic design. The whole campaign, all that stuff was designed by me. It's just this is what I do for a living, so I enjoy it. And I've designed a few path tags for some other people, not enough to really become a path tag design partner, I think they call it. But I'm open to helping come up with designs for people as well. So it's something I love to do, and it helps to give back as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Is there anything else about these coins and campaign that we should know about?
There's, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. There's a lot of potential in the future. I set up this campaign so that it would be, I would hope, enticing to people who just like to collect coins. So the very base coin that you can back and order is a standard geocoin. So you get it, and then you can make use of it however you want. You can take it wherever, you can have it discovered and all that thing. The other 3 coins are the ones that promise additional future content, and that's where the funding is going to. That's where the core of the project is for. So it's good for collectors, it's good for people who love geocoins, and hopefully enticing for people who love creative storytelling and even more collecting for things that are coming up in phase 2 and phase 3. Other than that, I mean, there's the campaign page lists all of the additional stuff that's coming with this project. Most recently, I'm kind of excited about the custom mounts. As of this recording, we're almost at the first stretch goal, which will be upgrading the coin mounts. And so I've been working on designs for creating these hopefully intricately designed and nicely crafted and visually artistic kind of mounts. And there's potential for some additional collectability with elements of that. So lots of stuff to play with.
The whole campaign, the whole project sounds really exciting. The potential that there is for this is just mind-blowing. It's endless potential here, and the designs look amazing.
Thanks a lot. It's kind of ambitious.
It is ambitious, but it sounds like you've put a lot of planning into this, so I hope it goes well for you.
Thanks. It is a passion project. It's something that, it's kind of been part of. It's kind of the epitome of taking what I love from what I've done for a living to the hobby that I have, the geocaching, to making it a positive thing for the community. And so, I mean, hopefully it would be appealing to people who are geocachers, people who aren't. But yeah, there's a lot of room for expansion and partnering as well in the future. And my hope is that I'll be able to even work with HQ and maybe incorporate things like the API to incorporate people's profiles and stats as well. There's room for that. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to put a limit on it specifically. There's always room for improvements and expansions.
It sounds amazing, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds for these coins and the potential puzzles and games and quests that get tied to it.
Well, and it's coming at a busy time of life as well. So there's a few, like, it can lead to a business. So right now it's me and it's a brand and it's a YouTube thing, but this can easily become a business. And so my hope is that, yeah, it can be self-sustaining, and that it's kind of starving artist sort of work. You put a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of passion into it, and hope that people will like it, and hope that people will enjoy it, and be successful. So we'll see. It may not, but I'm hoping.
Okay, one final question for anybody that decides they're going to order these coins. When can they expect them to start being shipped?
The campaign ends early August, and after that, there will be probably a little bit of a window for people to get late orders in. But the next step would be doing a bulk order of coins based on what the order inventory is recorded, and that could be anything from. Well, I mean, it's out of our hands, really. It's up to the mint at that point. So the mint would have to create that bulk order of coins. So that could be probably 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
I've had delays with the samples before, unforeseen delays. So there's not much you can control about that. It's really just estimates. So I'm estimating by year end, the coins should be ready to go out, if not out. The path tags have to be ordered as well, and those typically take 1 to 2 months. And then there's the website. So there's a lot of things that can happen at the same time. So
Right.
my hope and my expectation is that the campaign would be out. This initial first stage would be out and done by near the end of the year.
Okay. Okay. And they can be shipped to anywhere in the country, or anywhere in the not anywhere in the country. Oh my gosh. To any
Yes.
country, right?
Anywhere in the country. Yes.
Whose country is the question there?
Yeah. The difficulty with projects like this is the shipping. And so I've kind of taken a risk, but I'm hoping that I've come up with a strategy that can even things out by allowing worldwide shipping. You can either do a project like this and then ask for shipping afterwards, or you can ask for it up front, but you have to estimate and then make it a universal rate. And so trying to work with the way Indiegogo has these campaigns set up has been fun, has been interesting. And I'm hoping that the shipping costs, the direct shipping costs, will average out to what I've budgeted for, and that they don't super eat into everything. But yeah, so there's that, and then there's all the different perks that are available, and there's specials. So there could be secret perks and secret tiers for things like for people who have already completed, say, the Iron Bingo. There's a secret that they can place an order, including the iron core plus whatever coins they'd like to order. Same with the Wolf core, and now there's also, I've set up some referral links, so people who like to help promote can also attempt to lock in orders and win and earn some extra coins for themselves as well. So there's referral options. And that has a little extra bonus of some custom artwork for the coin mounts. So pretty much pulling out all the stops.
Well, it sounds awesome, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I particularly love the Sense the Night coin that glows in the dark. It looks really cool in that black nickel.
Yeah, yeah. It would be nice to have a variant that that had, like, say, the city in the background light up, glowing in the dark as well.
Oh,
So
that
it's
would
like
be
night
neat.
caching in the urban. Yeah. The nature of the relief design doesn't quite allow for filling regions with enamel. So it's purely a relief image.
Well, maybe in a future release of coins, you can work that in there.
Can certainly be more coins in the future.
Well, Geoff, thank you so much for coming on here and telling us about this project. It is really neat. I wish you the very best with this. I can't imagine how overwhelming and stressful this has been at times, I'm guessing. So I hope it all turns out the way you're hoping it does.
Thanks. So do I. I have no idea what other people experience when they run campaigns like this, but it's a first time. And yeah, there's just like daily, you're always checking, always coming in, always figuring out how can you get more word out? How can you, keep the excitement up throughout the entire campaign? It can be exhausting, especially when you have a real life to also deal with.
Yes.
But there is also a special link for you as a referrer, so that
There is.
if people are listening, then they can order through your link and get a little extra bonus as well.
Yes, and I'll have that link on social media and in the show notes for this podcast as well. So definitely check it out, because that is for the Quest Gold coin, if I'm remembering correctly, with a custom art base.
Yep.
And you get a discount on the price of it as well, which is pretty cool.
Yes. So you can, if you order through that link, you'll get a 40% off the gold Quest coin, and that will also include some custom artwork for geocache adventures for the coin mount. And of course, you can still add on other stuff as well. So that gives you that initial little discount.
Yes, the options to mix and match and choose what you want are pretty cool to be able to do that. You're not cornered into just one option. So that's very nice. Well, I wish you the best with this campaign, and I hope you get to your other stretch goals.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's a lot. It's been a lot of work, but it's been super fun, and I'm very thankful for everybody who's helped to get to this point. Whether it's people who've already backed and almost helping us reach the next tier, the next stretch goal, or people who've just been helping and encouraging through all of this time since the beginning of the vlogging, to the beginning of Patreon, to the beginning of this project. Just in general, yeah, there's a whole lot of people who've been involved in this, knowingly and unknowingly.
Unless there's any last minute thing that you can think of to add.
Well, if you look at social media, there's a couple of posts that if you're interested in winning something more, you can share and follow the instructions, and you can email me the link to the share, and your name can be put into a draw for some little extra bonus prizes.
Okay, awesome. That's always good to know. Well, thank you so much, Geoff. And I know you are getting ready to head out on your next adventure.
Going camping for a few days. Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, you have safe travels, and thank you again so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
You've been listening to Geocache Adventures with me, Shadow Dragon 1. If you'd like to get in touch, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or go to geocacheadventures.org, and you can find the information on the contact page. Theme music is by The Travel Bugs. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have you heard of FTF Magazine? It's the magazine for geocachers. It is full of articles and pictures, all submitted by geocachers just like you. I'm a subscriber myself, and I love it. My favorite part is the little snippets on the edges of the articles on all the different pages. Those are my favorites. Just go to ftfgeo.com to check them out and tell them Shadow Dragon 1 sent you.